Have you ever wondered if there's a place in Indonesia where people speak Tagalog? Yes, you heard it right. There exists a mystery island in Indonesia where the air fills with the rhythm of Tagalog, a language native to the Philippines. Quite an unexpected linguistic twist, isn't it? Now this leads us to a whirlwind of questions. How did the inhabitants of this island come to learn Tagalog, a language so distinct from the native Indonesian tongues? What's the historical thread that weaves this Indonesian island and the Philippines together? And here's a thought that might send ripples across the geopolitical waters. Could the Philippines consider this mystery island as part of their territory? So folks, buckle up as we embark on this fascinating journey to unravel the intriguing connection between this mysterious Indonesian island and the Philippines. Stay tuned because the story we're about to uncover is as captivating as it is unexpected. So how did Tagalog, a language native to the Philippines, end up on an Indonesian island, you might ask? It's a question that has intrigued linguists and historians alike for years. The story begins centuries ago when the waters between the Indonesian archipelago and the Philippine islands were bustling with activity. Trade routes crisscrossed these waters, connecting different cultures, ideas, and yes, languages. It's believed that Tagalog, the lingua franca of the Philippines, made its way to this particular Indonesian island through these routes. But it's not just about trade. Migration also played a significant role. Over time, many Filipinos moved to different parts of Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, either in search of better opportunities or driven by circumstances. Their language, Tagalog, traveled with them, taking root in the communities they formed in their new homes. Then there's the theory of colonization. It's no secret that the Spanish colonized the Philippines for over 300 years. During this period, the Spanish established strongholds in various parts of Southeast Asia, including some parts of Indonesia. As the Spanish consolidated their power, the Tagalog language, which was widely spoken in the Philippines, may have been brought to Indonesia. The unique linguistic situation on this Indonesian island is a tangible testament to these historical connections. Imagine an island where the air is filled with the rhythmic cadence of Tagalog, punctuated by the unique Indonesian flavor. It's like a beautiful living mosaic of languages, a testament to the island's rich and diverse history. But this isn't just a story about language migration. It's a story about people, about their journeys, and about the enduring power of language to connect us across time and space. It's about how language, with its subtle nuances and expressive power, can paint a vivid picture of our shared past. Now let's delve into the historical ties between this island and the Philippines. Remember, language is not just a tool for communication, but it's also a bridge, connecting us to our history and to each other. What are the historical ties between this Indonesian island and the Philippines? A question that piques the intrigue, and the answer to which might just solve the mystery of this unique linguistic phenomenon. Let's delve into the annals of history. The Philippines and Indonesia share a rich and complex past, both being part of the ancient maritime trading route. This route was a bustling network of trade and cultural exchange, connecting various parts of Southeast Asia, including these two nations. Indonesian merchants and traders carrying their goods and culture would have often made stops at various Philippine islands. In the same vein, Filipino traders too would have sailed to Indonesian shores. This constant interaction would have led to a cultural exchange that possibly included the transfer of the Tagalog language. It's not hard to imagine a Filipino trader teaching an Indonesian merchant a few phrases in Tagalog over a transaction, or an Indonesian picking up the language while staying in the Philippines for trade purposes. Then there is the Balanjingi Samal, a seafaring ethnic group from the Sulu archipelago of the Philippines. In the early 19th century, many of them migrated to parts of what is now Indonesia, including our mystery island. They brought with them their language, culture, and traditions, and this could be another explanation for the prevalence of Tagalog on the island. Now let's add another layer to this historical puzzle: the political ties. Both Indonesia and the Philippines were colonized by European powers, the Philippines by Spain and later the United States, and Indonesia by the Dutch. These colonial periods often witnessed the shifting of borders and territories. So is it possible that this island at some point in history was considered part of the Philippines? With these connections in mind, could the Philippines consider this island as its territory? As we peel back the layers of history, we uncover more questions than answers. But that's what makes this journey so fascinating, doesn't it? So let's keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering. Could the Philippines actually consider this island as their territory? Now that's an intriguing question. Let's dive into the complex world of international law and territorial rights. In the broadest sense, territorial rights are the rights of a state to exercise its powers within the boundaries of its territory. These boundaries are typically defined by geographical features like rivers, mountains, and coastlines. But it's not always that straightforward. In the case of our mystery Indonesian island where Tagalog is spoken, these boundaries become a bit blurred. This is because territorial claims can also hinge on factors such as historical ties, cultural connections, and even the languages spoken by the inhabitants. Now we know that there's a strong linguistic bond between the island and the Philippines. But does this make the island Philippine territory? Well, not exactly. International law stipulates that for a territory to be considered as belonging to a certain state, it must satisfy the principle of effective occupation. This means the state must demonstrate it has been in continuous and peaceful display of sovereignty over the territory. So could the Philippines claim this island based on the language spoken there? It's a bit of a stretch. The fact is, language alone doesn't constitute effective occupation, and while historical ties do play a part, they're not the be-all and end-all. But here's where things get interesting. If the inhabitants of the island were to express a desire to become part of the Philippines, this could potentially lead to a situation known as self-determination. This is where a group of people in a territory have the right to freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. In theory, this could result in the island becoming Philippine territory, but that's a big if. It would require a lot of diplomatic negotiation, not to mention the agreement of the Indonesian government. So we've learned about the linguistic and historical ties, but there's more to this story. What else is there to know about Miangas Island in Indonesia and its unique connection to the Philippines? Let's take a moment to pull all the threads together and unravel the fascinating mystery of this island. We've journeyed through its unexpected linguistic surprise, dived into its historical connections, and pondered the territorial question. Now, let's look at the broader picture. Miangas, tucked away in the heart of Indonesia, holds a linguistic treasure that ties it to the Philippines. The residents speak Tagalog, a language predominantly spoken in the Philippines. This unexpected linguistic connection was not a product of mere chance. It was cultivated through a rich tapestry of historical interactions, migrations, and cultural exchanges between the two nations, stretching back hundreds of years. But how did this come about? It all began with waves of migrations from the Philippines to Miangas, creating a cultural and linguistic bridge between the two countries. Over time, these connections became deeply rooted, and the Tagalog language thrived on Miangas Island, becoming an integral part of its identity. The historical ties between Miangas and the Philippines are not just linguistic, they are also cultural, economic, and even political. Both countries share a common heritage and have influenced each other in various ways over the centuries. This mutual influence has fostered a unique relationship between Miangas and the Philippines, one that is steeped in shared history and cultural exchange. So what about the territorial question? Can the Philippines consider Miangas as their territory? The answer is complex. While the island's linguistic and historical ties with the Philippines are undeniable, it remains a part of Indonesia. Miangas' sovereignty is recognized internationally and is not under dispute. Therefore, despite its deep connections with the Philippines, Miangas remains Indonesian territory. What could this unique connection mean for the future? Miangas' linguistic and historical ties to the Philippines could open avenues for deeper cultural exchanges and collaborations. It could also strengthen diplomatic and economic ties between Indonesia and the Philippines, fostering mutual understanding and cooperation. In conclusion, the story of Miangas Island in Indonesia and its unique connection to the Philippines is an intriguing tale of history, culture, and language. It's a testament to the enduring bonds that can form across borders, transcending political and geographic boundaries. It's a reminder of how interconnected our world truly is, and how our histories and cultures can intertwine in unexpected ways. So, the takeaway from all of this? It's simple. Cultures, languages, and histories are not confined to geographic boundaries. They flow, they merge, they influence, and they evolve. And in doing so, they create fascinating narratives like the story of Miangas Island in Indonesia and its Tagalog-speaking populace. Continue to explore, keep questioning, and always stay curious. Subscribe for more astonishing content and keep wondering. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.